On this week's episode of Life Drives Success, Scott Gittrich, CEO of Topper's Pizza, coming up next. This week, Scott, you joining me is a pleasure for multiple reasons. One, we have amazing conversations, probably not as frequent as I would like, and I wish they would be recorded. So now we're going to record this one. And secondly, I've always been motivated and inspired by your life story, and I want to get into it because I think
My life story. Holy smokes! I didn't know
Yes.
we were going there.
Ready? Boom! We're gonna hit some bombs on this week's episode. So
As Steve Martin would say, I was born a poor black child.
this is exactly how I wanted to start. So before
How
we,
inappropriate is it to say that these days?
it was Steve Martin. You were quoting someone. You're fine.
I blame Steve Martin.
See, this is gonna be great. So before we get into you, and I'll make this all make sense. What's going on with Toppers these days? Give our folks some sort of update on what's going on with the brand, because I think there's value in that as it relates back to your story too.
Yeah. Well, you know what's going on at Topper's Pizza is what's going on with our restaurant, the restaurant industry. To tell you the truth, it's been quite a last 2 or 3 years. Our segment has been seriously disrupted. It's all about technology and the challenges with people, and how we meet those challenges and drive traffic in a restaurant industry that isn't really growing. It's all about stealing market share, and we're on a roll right now. We're growing average unit volumes quite substantially. The last year has been a lot of fun. We've been extremely active as a team, making things happen. So we're leaner and faster and more nimble, and we're growing unit volumes, and we're growing the unit volumes through traffic. We're not growing very fast in units. We opened, 3 or 4 last year, and the prior year we opened 14. This year we expect to open 2, maybe 3. So we're really focused on driving our top line at the restaurants that we currently operate primarily. And I feel good about that, to tell you the truth. If you would have said 3 years ago that that's what I'd be saying today, I'd say that I was taking the cop out approach. But this is what the industry has kind of handed us here, and I feel like we're doing the right things, and we're still growing market share. Trying to dominate in the markets that we're at. We certainly are stronger than we ever have been in Wisconsin and Minnesota, and we're got good footholds in a lot of other markets. Franchisees are in a better spot today than they were a year ago, and that's what you're always trying to do, is just continue to climb and take more ground. So
you're feeling okay right now.
Feeling okay. Yeah.
So when the industry and there's more competition, the consumer's loyalty is wavering right now. All this crap is it's all this headwind. How, from a personal standpoint, do you stay motivated? What is driving you inside that when you're getting hit, like every turn you look, you're getting punched in the face by something else as an industry, not specifically to Toppers, but how do you feel motivated as an entrepreneur?
Well, I suppose that there's times where the motivation comes from high fives and, the wind's at your back and it feels like you can't fail. But over the course of my career, it's probably been about what you'd expect, that it's like that a third of the time, and a third of the time it's kind of plus or minus, and a third of the time it comes from meeting challenges. I don't know, I guess I'm just not the type of person, I suppose, and nobody on my team is, that's gonna give us a challenge. We're gonna fold up our tent and say, "Oh, I thought this was gonna be easy." It's always a fight at some level or another. I mean, if you think it's easy, then you probably are about to get blindsided anyways. So how do I stay optimistic? I suppose, by getting wins, working as a team, being with optimistic people, believing in the mission, believing in the vision, believing in what you're doing and where you're going to go. And I'm in this for the long haul. I decided several years ago, this is it. This is my career.
So buying in, being fully committed is what you decide. Is it ever tough? Do you still have bad days where you question commitment? Does anything get you down right now?
Does anything get me down? Well, I'm a person. So, it takes quite a bit to actually throw me for a loop. I will say that. My discipline, I have a personal kind of discipline and habits and rigor personally in my life, around, my mental well-being and, my family and my physical health. And I have this core of how I take care of myself that carries the day for the most part. And I have times where probably the hard stuff is, it's a little bit maybe of a loneliness feeling.
Yeah.
It's having a lot on my shoulders. I wouldn't say it's a get me down. It certainly isn't a question of commitment, but it can tip the scales to burden.
Yeah.
Where I feel like, I'm the one guy that can't be afraid or question things, or, because I need to not only have enough for me, I need to have enough for my team if necessary.
Right.
And for the most part, that's what I love. That's what I love about the business. And I thrive on being the leader or the person who is in that position. The times where it's very challenging are probably really short. It might be a day here and there. You're getting some real stuff out of me here, but I'm old enough now that I know myself really well, and when I can feel that coming, I know how to act, and I just have such a great team. Even though I say that there's a burden and that it can feel alone, that's all bullshit. I know enough about myself to know that that's something that I'm telling myself that's not really true. I've got a fabulous team of people. There's 2,000 Toppers team members out there that I'm working with, who are incredibly smart and capable and have their lives engaged in what we're doing. And, that in some ways it's a personal fallacy that I might momentarily buy into, that I've got to carry it all, and all I have to do is connect to the smart people around me, and my wife and my habits, and I'm there again. So
I think everybody goes, well, at least entrepreneurs tend to have that same feeling. It's that loneliness, and it might be a blip when it appears. I was talking to some folks in my Vistage group, which you and I have talked about Vistage before, and we got I felt like we got our asses just beat down in Q4 of last year. We had some toxic people that came into our culture, some toxic clients. I had some of those loneliness moments, and it's almost like you need to be able to go to those pinch me moments too, to say, well, shit, how much worse? It could be a lot worse than what we have it now, and that then you get almost re-excited by the hustle, and the game, and just the everything that goes into trying to create a successful business takes over, and then you look around and you have people that actually support you and buy into the vision and are willing to give blood, sweat, and tears for it. But I think a lot of people go through that, just moments of loneliness where they don't know if it's all going to work out, and then you have to dig deep. You got to find that fuel to motivate you to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, something else that I know, and even when it's really challenging, I still know this. Why am I in this? How did I choose this career? And I'm just talking about as a business person, not necessarily in the restaurant business, but and it's, I'm sure it's partly about making a good living. And I plan to make a good living. But the truth is that I want to enjoy my life, have a lot of fun, be with people that I enjoy being with, doing something difficult and challenging, and I want to win. But I don't want to win something that's easy, and I'm not sure what that would be anyways. I want to win at something that's challenging. So I want to fight, and I want to learn. That's part of, I've known this since I was little, that I really enjoy learning and meeting new challenges. And so sometimes, even in the middle of a shitstorm, I focus on the things that I'm personally learning and that our organization is learning and getting better at. And I swear to goodness, I really know that at the end of my career, at some way off in the future date, I just hope to be a little bit smarter than I am now. And that's about it, and I'll, some other lucky person will be running Topper's Pizza, and, and they'll learn. And I know that that's very touchy-feely, but I'm a touchy-feely kind of person. So I think it counts if you can have these moments of sanity in a shitstorm and say, you know what, we are getting really smart at blank, or this is an opportunity to learn about such and such. And part of my personal habits and discipline is kind of reflective and introspective, as you know, that kind of keeps me churning through what are the things we're working on, what are the things I'm working on, and that blend of the business. And I'm serious, we have been smart. Last year, Topper's Pizza, truly, we brought our size to bear, and we were more nimble and quick and fast acting and lean than we've ever been in years and years. And that felt so good. There's so much that in 2018 we got better at. And I got better at. I'm a better CEO today, like right now, I'm a better CEO than I was a year ago. And I'm very thankful for that, because that's very meaningful. In some ways, it's everything. It's my, it's my personal experience as the personal experience of the people that are at Topper's Pizza that are pouring it in. And what else is there? Serving customers, serving each other, learning, living our lives, and having fun. Don't forget, I'm the sole shareholder too, so I don't have to fret about somebody else breathing down my neck. I've got franchise community that'll do a little breathing, but we're pretty aligned and working hard together as well.
So you learned so much out of 2018, and I feel the same way. That when I feel like our business got our ass kicked, I'm very fast to go towards what is the opportunity here. I think what I'm trying to get better as a CEO is also trying to recognize the value of that moment so that I don't make those mistakes later on or look back and have regrets that we waited too long to become lean, like you have. Do you feel like part of the lessons learned that have gotten you to this level, that you now know how to operate the business even better should shit hit the fan again in the future?
Yeah, I think we're better prepared for the future. I think I'm better prepared to lead our company into the future. Heck, I feel like our franchisees are smarter, just across the board. I'd say this about just the economy in general right now, that the disruption that's occurring across the board as we move into even more of a technology-driven, productivity-driven might be a fair way to say in the current environment. That we become better equipped as people to, contribute to society 10 years from now or 20 years from now as an organization. Most smart people today would kind of say, I don't know what the world looks like in 20 years,
Right.
And that can be a scary place. But for me, it's about capabilities. It's about our willingness to go into that and say, we've got something that works, that's really great, and we've got a team that's capable, and we're fast learning and active, and we can kind of take a lot. Come on, let's see what happens here. Let's create our own opportunities and be ready to shuck and jive as things happen.
You've created something that I've always found to be amazing. You carved your own place in a very crowded category. Do you still look at competitors and get pissed off that the world has not understood or seen Topper's Pizza yet? Do you get pissed off that crappier places get to find franchisees and people are missing the opportunity? Does that stuff frustrate you? Does it feel like sometimes not enough people have uncovered the gem that you're very proud of?
No frustration in that area at all. That's all on us, to tell you the truth. I don't know. It's a fair fight. It's a fair game. The people that we compete with are good competitors. Let's be honest. There's a reason why we have our place in the world, why I started Topper's Pizza, and that's the things that I think, are missing and still are, and how we contribute to the segment and to customers that we serve in that differentiated way. But that really doesn't take away from the ways that I would admire my competitors as business people for the most part, and see their success and their place in the world, and see the way that they serve customers. And no, I'm not going to complain about that people, woe is me, people ought to know us better or something. That's just on us. It's a fair fight, and they've, our biggest competitors in particular paved the ground in front of us in a lot of ways. So, some of the heavy lifting in our business has been done by our competitors. I mean, a case in point is, the way that Domino's Pizza has been so instrumental in driving forward restaurant technology,
Right.
not just the pizza segment. I'm talking about retail technology. Yeah. And we benefit from that. I mean, how can you not admire what they've accomplished over the last 5 and 10 years? It's quite a story, and we certainly can learn some things from watching them, even though there's parts of their business that we certainly don't necessarily admire or that we draw distinction with. There's other ways that they serve customers that are incredible and that we can learn from by watching, just like any business. I mean, that's the way business works. That's the way that customers really benefit, is that we presumably can take the best of what's out there and grow on that, build on that.
That's very mature of you. That must be the growing CEO in you. So,
well,
yeah,
you know what, we take some fun in playing up competitive differences, and I might sling a little mud. Tell you the truth, it's kind of tongue in cheek, or a way to draw attention and have some fun, to point out some things that we're particularly proud of. But I've got friends that work at competitors, own franchises at competitors, and they're good people. They're people who are just fighting the fight too. So it's all good.
I wanna talk to you about a trigger moment. So at some point working for Domino's, you decide that you're gonna go do this on your own, and the truth is, which I would say would be even harder than becoming a multi-unit franchisee within Domino's. Domino's missed it with you. That there was a guy that was capable of building a 100-unit pizza brand in a very competitive marketplace in their system, and for whatever reason, and it's not always up to the business to find it, but I've always had this feeling that you catch the entrepreneur before they catch you. Similar to me, I had that same moment. I had my trigger moment that made me go out and create what we've created, and I'm very proud of what our awesome team has built here. But this trigger moment, do you ever look back at a different life if Domino's would have seen what you are capable of where they would have put you in their system, because you're super capable of creating something amazing?
I mean, I think about the people that I've worked with, and I suppose there's been a couple times where I've thought, what would I be doing now if I had stayed at Domino's Pizza? But not really from the standpoint of they missed it or something like that, but nothing like that. It's possible that I was destined to leave and do my own thing at some level.
What was the trigger moment for you that made you say it's now time to go do Toppers?
Well, I had saved money to Domino's. I was saving money, and I mean like living like paupers and saving money to open our own business. So that was from day one. I mean, Domino's at that point had this culture back in the mid '80s of being franchise and own your own Domino's pizza store. And heck, I dropped out of college to be part of that company with the intention of, I'm going to own my own Domino's pizza stores,
Yeah.
is what was on my mind. And so I was saving money, and the end game was I'm going to be a franchisee and I'm going to build an empire of Domino's pizza stores. And when that time came, we'd saved $30,000, which doesn't sound like much today, but it was quite a sum that I'd saved. I contacted Domino's and looked into franchise, and they wanted me to buy these 2 crappy stores. I would be the king of Domino's Pizza in Ohio at this point. But my wife and I at the same time, we were talking about, what we could do. We could freaking start our own place where Domino's was totally set in this 10 toppings, 2 crusts, 1 drink. They had Coke. They didn't even have Diet Coke. And we felt like variety was the way to go, and fresh made was the way to go, and that we really conceived that there was a better pizza business out there, and that while it was risky, we both had a lot of confidence that are we better off buying these 2 $5,000 a week Domino's pizzas in Dayton, or shit, we can just roll the dice and start Scott and Carol's pizza place in Central Illinois, where we were both from. Let's do this thing. And actually, I did tee it up to the franchisee that I worked for. I kind of lobbed it over that I was thinking about doing something else. And the truth is that I really did want him to try to get me to stay. And either it didn't resonate with him, or he felt like it was going to be, I don't know what the deal was. But that kind of fed me a little bit. I was like, all right, let's do this thing. And it's been fun, and customers have affirmed our differences. The people that love us for those same things. Even though it's been 27 years, our customers today tell us that they like us for that. We have variety, that we're the place with the crazy toppings. We get a nod for quality, where we're at. The customers think of us as the better pizza choice. Those things that we conceived of early on have come to fruition, and that's our place. And I love my roots at Domino's Pizza, and that's how business goes. You came from another agency, and that's the beauty of capitalism. I think a lot about the people that work for me that want to shoot the moon and plan to shoot the moon in their careers. And you're exactly right. I've got to try to create the playground and unleash people so that they can be satisfied, that they can do whatever they can conceive of on this blank sheet of paper that we have in front of us. And I also tell them, you can compete with me, but I will fucking unload and kick your ass also. I will shut you down. I guarantee you're going to regret it.
That's your responsibility. You have to scare them a little bit.
We've had a couple people that have left franchisees and that we compete with or have competed with over the years. It's all good.
It's part of the game.
Part of the game.
Do you, when you're on these long runs, when you're working on your mental stability, which I also turn to the treadmill. You're outside. I'm on a treadmill to try to get some mental clarity. Do you get to celebrate how far you've come? Do you get to take a moment, not necessarily pat on the back, but feel like, man, I've done something pretty cool?
Oh, I don't know. Probably the short answer is no. I mean, the reality is that I just do my work the best I can, just like you do, and heck, just like the people on my team do. And I've got a role in the business. Um, I don't think of myself as anything special. I've stayed focused on one thing for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Topper's Pizza opened up in 1991. So a lot of times when people say, "What's the secret to your success?" and I'm like, "You kick ass as hard as you can for 28 years, and you're probably going to get pretty
Yeah,
freaking good."
right.
Okay? You're going to get pushed back, and you just keep coming. Most people are going to quit. I mean, resilience and persistence, is probably what I would give myself the biggest pat on the back about. And really, the team and the people that I've worked with have are equally deserving of any kind of credit that we would take. Um, I like to relish our successes as a team when we get the opportunities at conventions, and we ring each other's bells in our office and say good things that are happening. But I'm not sure what the good would come of me patting myself on the back would ever be. I fancy myself a humble person. So I don't want to break that pedestal that I have myself on, that I'm humble. I don't want to break that image down, and by giving myself a pat on the back.
So maybe others do it for you. So this is a large question, but uh, uh, presumably we're all going to reach a place where this life that we have is gone, unless someone invents something. I mean, technology could solve that. So we leave this world. I mean, you've always been so big on team and culture. I would imagine people appreciate that. What do you want your loved ones, your team, folks that you've touched? What do you want them to say about you when you're done with Toppers, or done? Period.
Well, um, hopefully it would just be that I lived a good life according to good values, and that I did right by people. That's what matters. I mean, that's really it for me. I want to do right by my family, and just be a good person. Uh, that's it. No big grand thing. That's not important to me. What matters to me is just that I'm a good person. The same thing that I would say about my dad or my mom when they die, or the people that I've admired. Uh, they've accomplished things, but think about it. I mean, a very high percentage of the people that I'm associated with are accomplishing things every day. Um, and I just, the honest truth is, I just do not think that the things that I'm accomplishing each day are worth more than the things that the people that I'm working with are accomplishing, or the things that my kids are accomplishing, or that you're accomplishing, or I made that joke about being humble, but I just think that that's the truth, and that what's really important to me is just to live a good life and treat people right. And when push comes to shove, when things get hard and life gives me uh, ethical dilemmas, that I'm just a good person. That's it. That's what matters to me.
Well, I know you don't like the pat on your back, but I think you've done incredible things. I don't know that the widget mattered, whether that was pizza or hot dogs or cars. Um, I've always appreciated your approach to life, to leadership, to study, to commitment to getting better, and listening. So, it happened that Topper's Pizza ends up being your thing, but I think those qualities of a human, you can cross apply that to about anything, and find success. And You know, if someone said, give me a short list of names, if I had to recruit someone to be on my team, you would certainly be on that list because I don't know that the widget ever mattered. I think it's more of what you just said, that's what drives success.
Yeah, I like what you say about the widget. I agree. I love the pizza business, but I could have taken a lot of paths. There's a lot of good ways to live a life in that regard. And I think that the reason that you and I have always enjoyed spending time and talking with each other is because you also are introspective and you're in this thing not to just pile up gold in the corner, but for the personal experience and to touch people's lives and do something special and to just meet the challenges that you're grabbing in front of you. I've admired what you've done as well. So it's fun to meet other entrepreneurs, people who have just had that thing where you're like, yeah, why not? I'll try to do it better. Let's go. You're the right kind of person that people want to follow you along. Charismatic, where charisma meets the heart, you know how to say it too, you know how to bring it. Lucky you.
I appreciate that. I would say that's also one of the. It's probably one of the hardest things too, because I think me, we know who we are inside, and sometimes whether that's franchisees or clients or teammates, sometimes there's just not enough time to show them the truth and show that we're in it for things that aren't hiding gold in the corner. I think that's one of the toughest things as a truly good person, is having enough time to convince others that it's true, especially in a world that's full of hate and doubters. It's hard to do that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I guess what I would think is I'm just going to be me. The best thing I think that any person can do is just be the best version of themselves that they can be. You've got kids that are looking at you, and that's what matters, is to be the kind of person that people that are looking at you, that they should look at you, that you are the right kind of person, that if there's people that are going to want to be like me or want to be like you, that's a heavy responsibility. So I'm not going to convince them anything, but I better be worthy of somebody looking at me, and trying to be like me. If my kids are going to if they're going to pay attention to me, then by God, that's about as heavy a responsibility as there is, and I'm going to try to live up to that. And you know what? That's just a good way to live life. It's fun. That should not sound like a burden, because to me, that's a fun way to live a life. I want my kids to be silly and fun and high integrity people, and I'm willing to model that to the best of my ability.
Scott, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I think you're a great model. I think you're a great role model to follow in business. I've appreciated our relationship. I appreciate our chats. And I appreciate you joining us on this video cast podcast, whatever it's called.
Sure. Please edit out anything really. Even if it gets down to like a 3-minute video, I'm on you.
I'll put that on Emily.
Thanks, Emily. Please.
All right, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the time.
Have a good one. See ya.
Later.